today we have a guest that, you guys are quite familiar with, or maybe not. You may not have known that this person could write comics at all until Wonder Woman issue 29 came out.
Yeah.
And so, in case you are one of those lucky few, I get to introduce to you Miss Stephanie Williams. How are you tonight?
I am, you know what? I'm good. It's a Thursday night, so sorry behind the veil, folks. You know that we recorded this on Thursday night. But I'm good. Surprisingly, given what the week has been, the year has been, all of that. But all things considered, good.
It's been a crazy week. And
Yeah.
not the
Jesse
least of,
Jackson went on to glory. I said, "Oh, okay, wow, where this is." Robert Duvall left us. Wow,
at
all the
least
wrong people.
Jesse left just in time for me to work in a few I am somebodies into my
Okay,
last comic, my video script. So
okay,
it'll be cool. It'll be cool. We get
it
to watch Jesse. By now, you guys have watched Jesse Jackson talk to all the Sesame Street Muppets and the children. My
yes,
favorite part of that video, by the way, is when he says, "I am black," and they zoom in on the two white kids repeating the affirmation. That's the best part of the video by
somebody
far.
was being real messy.
Right.
And I hope they're having a good day.
Right. Amazing. But anyway, yeah, Jesse left us. I woke up with a fever this morning. Now I'm fine. Crazy enough.
Okay,
Just,
all right.
yeah.
Check back with you in 24 hours. That's how the apocalypse usually begins.
Well,
Hmm.
that's probably my reward for, taking care of my wife. She was sick last weekend and
Oh
I thought I
yeah.
had gotten home free. Like she was better.
No.
I never went down.
Now,
Woke up
homie,
this
it
morning.
never works like that. I sometimes think I'm in the clear, and then by the time my husband is like on the last day, I'm waking up and my throat hurts.
Yeah.
And it's not did we just wake up and our allergies? No, it's the full on. I've had a sip of water and my shit is still burning.
Yeah, it's like that. It's like that. But you're joining us in the future, by the way. You guys
Yeah.
aren't listening to this until sometime mid-March, but
Oh, damn. Okay. Yes.
we are
Oh,
recording. This
temporal.
is milestone March. We are talking all month about the new history of the DC universe, the Dakota Incident. And so we've talked to Joe, we've talked to Mo, we've talked to Nick, and we're talking to you, not necessarily in that order, but we are talking about all about this issue, how it
Yeah.
came to be, some of the more fun parts about writing it. And we're getting all
Yes.
of the details. But beyond that, for those audio listeners who are like, I already read that book, I don't care. We're also going to talk about some of Stephanie's newest writings. We're talking about Wonder Woman, Street Sharks, Temporal Roots of Madness. Just first of all, you've always had range, but I feel like the range is really showing right now. Like, how does it feel to really showcase the range in this way?
It feels really good, to be honest. And really more so because I had to be the one to prove to myself that I was able to do that. It was something that I wanted to do, and like was intentional about it, but also at the same time scared.
Mhm.
Uh, Especially what a lot of people originally getting to know me and my writing like through memes and whatnot, because that's humor. It's just like, well, am I gonna be stuck? Like, there's other things that I want to do or wanted to do. So it's fun to be writing, a horror, and then also like a silly Saturday morning cartoon, a Greek serious superhero comic that I was able to incorporate, talking about postpartum depression, uh, a sci-fi action that is deep but kind of not deep. So it's just, it's fun. So it feels really good, Brandon. Like, if, for the most because I was able to prove to myself that I could do it.
Yeah. Yeah. Listen, look at the material.
Mhm.
I think that's the fun part about reading any Stephanie Williams comic. Like, there's always something in there for the folks. Like,
Yes.
it's just great. But
Thank you.
yeah, no, it's fun. Like, and your fifth anniversary is coming up soon if it hasn't already passed. But that Marvel
Actually, it just
Voices
passed.
legacy. That was
Oh,
like this week, 5 years ago.
yeah, yeah. I think it was. Oh my God, you're right. It was this week 5 years ago. That is insane.
That is insane. What's also insane is that you have written 150 comics since then. Like,
Yes, I might have inflated for adjusted for inflation a little
uh,
bit, but it's definitely I will
listen,
try to go back and count. I think it's like more so like 135. But anyway, we're gonna round all the way up to
so if you
150.
count the AARP special, right, and
Yes,
the
that is
Althea Gibson special, like
yes,
it's up there. It's up
it
there.
is. But yeah, and even that in itself, I don't know, I tend to not do a very good job of I don't want to say embracing the moment, but like really sitting sometimes with what I've done, just because it's just what's the next thing? Because
Mhm.
this is just how it is being a freelancer. If you would like to continue, then you should be thinking about the next thing, just as you begin the new thing. But sometimes in doing that, you really don't get a chance to really sit what you've been able to do, what you've been able to accomplish. Uh, has it had any impact? That type of thing. So I decided to be more intentional about that this year and not shy away from doing it because I feel as though I'm, boasting or bragging or anything. But I've worked really hard. And it has been a feat that hasn't necessarily been easy because I haven't had any ongoings. And I've had to, again, like put myself at the right place at the right time, build relationships, all of these things that go into just, it's not just writing, it's just so much more to be able to do it at this capacity and to be able to do so, but still go to sleep at night happy with myself. I think that is an incredible blessing, and I am incredibly lucky to be able to do something like this because there are a million people out there that have stories to tell. And then out of those million, a few 100,000 of them are brave to actually do it. And then it goes from there, and to be at the right place at the right time with a work that speaks to somebody and them wanting to give you a chance to tell your story on a bigger platform. I think it's something that when I think about it is incredibly humbling, and why I take what I do so seriously, because it didn't have to be me. It could have been you. It could have been,
It could not have been
well,
me.
maybe. Okay, well, maybe not in that way. But my point is that it literally could have been anyone else, and it just so happened to be me.
I'm gonna push back.
Okay.
I'm gonna push back
All right.
because, right, like I don't know. We've talked about this before. We talked
Yeah.
about the sort of COVID Black people lottery and how
Yeah.
it feels like you were one of the chosen ones,
Yeah.
right? But that's it takes talent to stay here. It takes talent to
Yes.
get
It
here,
it
right? Like
does.
nobody was just like, hey, let me pull a random Black lady out the hat, right?
No.
Like that
Well,
doesn't happen.
no, it doesn't. I mean, really more so that through my consistency and just again being intentional about a lot of what I did, that it just so happened that I was able to be luck. Because what is luck? What is the saying?
When opportunity meets preparation.
Exactly. And if anything, I'm very fortunate that that worked out. It
Yeah.
basically is what I'm, yeah. Because I do still try to stay as tapped in as I can, just reading other, works from other folks and how good they are. Sometimes I even pass them on to my editors. I'm like, hey, I just read this. It's been on, Webtoon, or I picked this comic up when I was at a convention. You all should be talking to this person because it's good. Imagine what they could do for your character, or imagine what they can do if they were able to have their story on a bigger stage. So it just makes me very look at things differently, and to make sure that I'm doing my part to bring more folks into the cult of comic books.
That's fair. I kind of feel that way about YouTube, right? Like,
Yeah.
I happened to start my channel around
Mm-hmm.
the same time you started writing comics. everybody was looking for comic book stuff to talk or to
Yes.
watch. So my channel just happened to grow a lot quicker than others who were on the scene at the time. Like I remember people giving me shout outs and I was really grateful for those shout outs. And then
Yeah.
like the next week my channel was bigger than theirs and it was really weird. And now we're at a spot where it's like, okay, I'm trying to shout out people all the time. And then at the
Yeah.
same time, there are newcomers. There's like another generation that's coming into the space off of TikTok and stuff. And it's like
Hmm.
their numbers are going through the roof. And I'm sitting here like, huh, I feel like my stuff is good. Why is my stuff not good? But it's like you just gotta
You
stay
just
in your
have to
lane.
keep, yes, yes. And I feel like when you do that, the whole, you build it, they'll come, they do. And not only that, you do not have to sacrifice pieces of yourself to, I guess, entice people to come over to your lane. So I don't know how we transition into this deep talk. This is deep talk with Stephanie on Thursday night. But no, I don't know how we transition from that to the Dakota incident, but
So, okay. Well, we won't. We'll save the Dakota incident for a little bit later, right?
all right.
So we're in deep conversation, deep thought.
Mhm.
And, I think what's interesting to me about your, Wonder Woman story is that it's a very deep conversation told through a lot of action sequences and a lot of, self talk,
Yeah.
right? Positive and negative self talk. And, thematically, I love the conclusion that you reach. Like you doubt because you care. Like you feel this fear because you care.
Yeah.
And it's I'm curious as to one, you've got two issues to tell a story featuring Wonder Woman, all the Amazons, and a baby out of nowhere.
Right.
And, first of all, telling a story in two issues is hard enough. But then where does the idea to bring something as deep as postpartum depression into a comic come from?
So this one was interesting because the solicit had already been written by the time I was tapped to do these two fill-in episodes. So because of that, I feel like it worked in my favor because I was already been working on Warriors and then We Wonder. And this would, to me, the way that I saw it was going to be the non-web comic version of Warriors in a We Wonder, essentially. So if you've been reading that series, we do little lessons and stuff in it, but of course it's aged down, or it's just it's just fun. It's not serious.
Mhm.
But for this, I knew with Diana, I don't know. For me, the Amazons, when they are at their best, is when we are seeing how duty bound they are to each other, and whatever their roles are. And I always go back to this page that from a George Perez. I can't remember what Wonder Woman issue it is, but there's these two pages. Philippus and Hippolyta are getting ready to tussle. They're on Bad Girls Club time because uh, Diana has gone behind Doom's doorway and Hippolyta wants to go get her child. But she's the queen. You can't be just going behind Doom's doorway like that. And Philippus is like, well, hey, it's my job as general to make sure that you are safe. So you're not going. And, Hippolyta was like, okay, but I'm a mother and I need to go get my baby. So that is her duty, Diana's mother. And for Philippus, it was keeping the queen safe. So they fight. And it's a fight that they don't want to have. And you can see all the emotion played out on the page. But going along with that is dialogue that acts that adds an extra layer for you to see how much this hurts. So thinking of that, and wanting to kind of channel that energy into this story, so that it feels impactful and important, even though it's a fill-in issue, because it could have just been, pardon my French, some throwaway bullshit. But I wanted to make sure that that's not what I would do if it's the mainline Wonder Woman book. Like, this is the big stage. So Postpartum depression just seemed like the perfect thing to talk about because Diana has been this figure of um I don't want to leave it to just womanhood because I don't think that's correct. But and like this pillar of I guess, yeah, womanhood to a degree, or just representing just people who identify themselves as femme. And postpartum depression is in that, right? So what better way than to show um I don't know, someone who has been impacted by this or in some way be they're experiencing it themselves or you know, showing those around them this is, you know, this is something that happens and it's okay and why we need to be there for each other. What better character to embody that since she has a child than Diana? I think it's very important to show that in the same way that we can see Bruce's flaws and Superman's flaws, is to show that Diana is flawed sometimes, and that's okay because that's what makes her who she is, and why she is deserving of being Wonder Woman and the holder of truth. For her to be so vulnerable that she is able to share her truth. And to me, that was again like she's the perfect character for that. So I'm just happy that it came through that way. And she had been gone from home throughout the series. So it was important for her to be able to go back. And when she comes back, you know, she feels that it's a failure, but Philippus is there to tell her that no, it's not. It's you remembering, like, girl, you have family, you have people who love you, you have a sisterhood, you are running yourself ragged for man's world, and like we commend you for that, but also we care about you and we want you to know that when you are empty, come back, and then we'll send you back on out into the world to represent the best of us. So I don't know, like it just all of that just came to me instantly when I was asked and then like told what the synopsis was supposed to be. And I was like, got it.
Nice. So I will say, like, having followed along, kind of dipped in and out of this current Wonder Woman volume, it it gave her a reason to have this kid. Like, this
Mm-hmm.
baby felt so random. And like at times she's just like on Diana's back while she's out fighting. And it's like, why did she make this baby? Like, is she a welfare queen? Like, what? No, I'm joking. But like,
That would be wild.
that would be that's crazy. Let's just make a baby out of clay so we can get a check. But it's like
I mean, come on. And it's tax season too.
that's crazy.
Wow. You know what? Let me be quiet before I sound like a Gotham villain. All right, continue.
So yeah. So anyway, but it was like this baby felt so random, but like to give Diana those emotions, right? Because a baby can be born out of grief, right? Like there's
Absolutely.
plenty of situations where it's like nobody needed to be making a baby at this moment, but
Yeah.
that's what you did. And
Yes.
now you have these consequences, and if you want to call a baby a consequence, but now you have this situation that you're in, and the emotions don't stop. Your job doesn't stop. Like
No.
life doesn't stop. And so she's still got to deal with that. Like, okay, am I a good mom? Do I know what I'm doing? All I know how to do is fight. Like, why do I have this baby? Like, and so for her to be able to emote and really express that, to go home and just be like, hey, y'all take care of this baby for a second. Like, we've all done that. Like, go to grandma's
Mm-hmm.
house, like, hey, y'all just chill over there. I'm gonna go get some ice cream real quick. Like, try to remember what it was like before you were here so that I
Yeah.
can come back and be better for you, right? Like,
Yes.
so giving Diana the space to have that moment, it made the whole baby worth it. I appreciate that.
Yeah. Yeah, because again, like for a character like that, even if, you know, she's made this child out of grief, that is still like a truth that she would need uh, to come to reckon with. Wow, I sound like I sound like an 85-year-old white man saying that, but she would have to reckon with that truth.
Mm,
Again, the holder of the truth of lasso, which should feel convicted to be honest with herself in a way that maybe a lot of us could not be. So yeah, so anyway, perfect character. Since she has a child to explore that and to your point, actually bring an extra added layer of emotion beyond grief to having Trinity or
yeah.
Elizabeth. Because I got in trouble because I kept writing Trinity in the script.
Mm,
And my editor was like, "You do know the baby's name is Elizabeth." And I was like, "I do, but Trinity is like the first thing that comes to mind."
I
So that just
mean,
had to be changed. And I'm happy that no Trinities accidentally slipped through in the final cut because that would have been crazy.
I would have. I mean, in your defense, the book is called Trinity. So,
I know. So that was like what was on my mind. But yeah.
yeah. So, you know, just thinking about your most recent works, it seems like the theme has definitely been Vin Diesel and family, right?
Yeah. Oh my
So
God. Yes.
we've got Street Sharks, right? Brotherhood, right? We've got Roots of Madness, very much about like generational ties and family secrets
Yeah.
and just really that book is great. I
Thank
think
you.
that's my favorite Stephanie Williams book, but
Thank you.
it's
And
hard to tell.
I was going to say that makes me happy just because Roots is not that anything else I've worked on hasn't been I don't know, like I guess Roots is me at my most freest, like me at my most confident as a writer, like me writing without any imposter syndrome, like me feeling fully capable in who I am as a storyteller, in my abilities to, tell a story and to, yeah, be like the best collaborator I can be in this. So that makes me happy to hear that because yeah, that's what Roots was because Temporal came before that. It's funny, and I feel like if you read Temporal and Roots together, you can tell that I was at two very different places.
Mm.
Either in my storytelling and then also just I feel like I've still felt confident, but there's a difference there. Uh, and yes, so it makes me happy that Roots is that you believe that. So thank you.
Yeah, it's yeah. First of all, there's not necessarily been a whole lot of times where it's like, which Stephanie Williams comic do you like better?
Yeah,
You
yeah.
haven't had so much stuff on the shelf at one
Right.
time before.
Right.
But dipping in and out different flavors, it's like, okay, that. But yeah, there's something about Roots that it does feel like you're firing on all cylinders. Like
Yes.
there's the world building, and I don't know if part of it is like the marketing, right? I've got my card right here, my Meridian Fellowship membership. This one's mine. Yours is in a box. But
Yes. Well, thank you. Yeah, yeah. I and the marketing has been first off, working with Ignition Press has been just amazing.
mm,
Just in all of the resources that they have poured into Roots, the type of support that I've had with Roots, it has just been a phenomenal experience. And maybe another reason why that book has been some of my best work because of just, I don't want to say how supported I felt because I felt supported in other projects, but because it's fully mine, I guess,
mhm.
right? Like I don't have to worry about breaking someone else's toy. If I break my own toy, that's all right. Like we can grow from that. We can come back from that. But uh it's just been great to like, I don't know, build my own sandbox and do so with all the proper material.
Yeah. Nah, it's fun. There's deep lore. Like I'm out here trying to collect all the trinkets. I got my little field book. Yo, I was so mad. Y'all, I saw Stephanie like last week, and this dude in front of me in line brought his field book to get signed, and I was like, why did I not bring that? It's sitting right in front of my keyboard. Like
Damn,
it's,
damn, damn.
but it's all good. We'll make up for it at Heroes.
Yes. Wait, are you doing minicon?
I'm not. When is MiniCon? Is that like
Isn't
next
that?
week?
Yep.
No, I'm not doing
No, okay,
MiniCon.
that's fair. Okay, heroes it is.
Heroes it'll be, but yeah, like so they've got that. I'm still on the hunt for a Roots of Madness comb.
I'm gonna get you a comb. I will hunt
Yeah,
you down a comb.
nice. I appreciate
I
that.
got you.
I was gonna buy the hair oil, but I don't necessarily need hair oil. Like it's, and I
It's funny,
mean,
I'm actually almost out because I had randomly started using it and I was like, oh wait, this smells divine.
does it work well? Like how's the shine?
I like it. I've been putting it in my son's hair, because he's always in my stuff anyway. So I was
Mm,
like, I'm setting this right here for you. Go
listen,
ahead, go to town.
if your hair products work for a preteen black boy, they work. Period.
Yes, yes. Oh my
So
God, yes. It is
so
a straight horror show.
yeah, it's crazy. I have all girls, and I'm kind of glad in some ways. I
I'm
feel
very
bad for my wife
jealous.
having to do all those heads.
Yeah, I'm not jealous in that way.
Like
Ooh, I'm not jealous in that way.
I could do Bantu knots until they get to a certain length, and then that's it. That's all I got for you.
You are better than me because when his
So
hair started like really growing, I was like, no, I'm not. Mom was like, are you gonna break? No. To the barbershop you go.
I will say I am excited to cut a son's hair if I am ever blessed with a son. Like I've been self-cutting for like since the pandemic, basically,
Yeah, yeah.
and I am dying to cut a child's hair, my child's hair, that is. But anyway,
I get you.
so so Roots of Madness is great. Temporal is great. Speaking of haircuts, we got do rags on the page.
Still,
I still think the cape out is egregious, but you're not supposed to put your do rag in a knot when you're sleeping. It will cause a bald spot eventually, but there's just
see,
something about it. Like you
I
can't
know
be,
it's unsettling. I do
yeah,
understand, but we want you to keep your hand in the back. So,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
it's okay.
So, but no, I'm loving that. It really does. Again, there are themes, right?
Mhm.
There's definitely like sort of family and being able to trust the people around you, right? That seems to be in all across all of these works.
Yeah.
But there's also a sort of sense of, can I do this? This thing in front of me, have I bitten off more than I can chew? Have I forgotten my responsibilities? Like, am I still good? Like
Yeah.
that, it definitely feels like the period that you're in all these works. Like,
Yes.
was that conscious? Did you find the thread after the fact, or what are we doing here?
It's funny. I think it, no, it was not conscious. But looking back on it, I was like, ooh, girl. So, but I think that's a beautiful thing though. Just like in the same way, like if I hear a certain song, like I can remember like exactly where I was in my life or a movie or a specific book, to be able to like look at my work and see it in fiction form instead of a journal, so to speak.
Mhm.
That's pretty cool. And I think younger Stephanie would be very proud and happy because essentially I've been doing that forever. I think now that I think back on it, when I did have a journal and I used to journal, like eventually those just turned into these fictional stories. Sometimes it was fanfic or whatever, but that's eventually what my journal turned into. So to be able to channel that energy and do it through a medium that I love so much, again, just I'm having a really great time telling stories. And I hope that that comes through in my work.
Yeah. So I have found it. So
Oh,
the this theme of like just journaling, keeping your thoughts, committing them to paper, right?
yeah.
That's one thing you have in common with one Raquel Irvin.
Yes. Oh my God.
Rocky.
You are on fire. Come
See,
on.
I
All
try.
right.
And so that brings us to the Dakota incident, the new history of the
Yes.
DC universe. You, along with Joe Illidge, Nicholas Draper Ivy, Mo Hampton, were tasked with basically bringing the Dakota Universe heroes into the DC universe in a way that makes sense to the history of both.
Yes.
All
It,
in 40 pages. You got
you
10 pages
know,
each.
yes. It
So,
was like when the Bible story of Noah's Ark, essentially, right? We had 40 days and 40 nights. Well, it rained for 40 days. Well, no, I'm getting my Bible stories mixed up. But anyway, we had a limited time to build this ark
mm,
to get these milestone characters ushered into the DC universe. And what a what an experience.
it certainly seems like one. So,
Yeah.
you wrote Act Two.
Mm-hmm.
And, for those of you guys who have not been keeping up with the story so far, again, last week we talked to Joe Illich, who wrote Act One. And in Act One of this book, we're basically getting a condensed history of the milestone or Dakota universe. Like,
Mm-hmm.
we see the Big Bang, we see all the heroes kind of start and jump into action. And then there's a point where we kind of deviate from the timeline that we all know if you're a milestone fan. And the big, reveal, spoiler alert, is the death of Edwin Alva. And that kind of sends us off to a different branch in time. And it sets off this chain of events because Lex Luthor was president of the United States.
Mm-hmm.
Edwin Alva was part of the Superman project. And so what we learn is that Edwin Alva basically coordinated the Big Bang in order to create a bunch of metahumans. But now that Edwin Alva is dead, we don't even know who killed Edwin Alva, actually. But
Mm-hmm.
now that Edwin Alva is dead, there's a power vacuum. And what we know is that there's a whole bunch of meta humans in Dakota City. And we can't have that if we're gonna like keep running this evil cabal, right? And so Lex Luthor sends Amanda Waller and the Suicide Squad to deal with the Dakota Universe heroes. And there we enter Stephanie Williams. Now, two things about this are fun for me. One is that your chapter of this book is very action packed, and it, that doesn't. I don't think we get that a lot from you. Like
No.
we get a lot of quiet moments. We get a lot of like fun pop culture references. We get the warm hugs as I call them, but we don't always get a ton of action. And I mean, there's somebody coming to blows on every page of your story. And you even get two big splash pages. So one, how does that feel?
So good. Because like you're right. That's normally like what I give. And originally when I was brought in, like I thought my chapter would be more of like, a heavy lift or well, not necessarily a heavy lift, but like more of an emotional like moment.
Mm,
But when they were like, no, you want to write Suicide Squad? I said, absolutely, because I love John Ostrander's run of Suicide Squad. So quite clearly, that is why Bronze Tiger is there in Deadshot and Captain Boomerang. So when I knew it was going to be boots on the ground, I said, all right. And I got to write the Syndicate, light them up.
mm,
And it was so fun to just write the portion where you got to see some of the milestone characters just go to work
yeah,
against the people that are well established in the DC universe. Like when that Captain Atom, and I was like, well, because if Icon is going to throw hands with someone, then it needs to be. It's not going to be Superman. Then bring in the nuclear warhead.
yeah.
So that was so fun.
So you quite literally wrote the book on obscure DC Universe characters,
Yeah,
right? And so to pull Bronze Tiger out of nowhere and give him
man.
such an epic moment in this book. But I don't know, it's how does it feel to bring Fubu into the DC universe? Like to really marry these concepts? Like, because even it being such a deep cut just makes it feel like, nah, they're really doing it this time.
Yeah. Again, like kind of surreal because, Dwayne McDuffie is one of the biggest reasons why I love the comic book medium, just because of the type of stories that he told. And I read all of Icon. I used to call it Icon and Rocket because, like, for the longest, I literally thought that's because she was always there. And I love that series. Especially appreciated more reading it as an adult and having more of a idea of comics history. So because of that, to be able to usher in these characters that should have been a part of, or I don't know, arguably, right, should have always been a part of the greater DC universe, or, hey, want to do a little Brown versus the Board of Education, they maybe just stayed in Mouse. I don't know. And I can only make that joke because it's Black History Month. Well, it was Black History Month when we recorded this, but um
I
if
mean, that
you
would have been Plessy versus Ferguson, but I'm gonna let you
oh
rock
my
that.
God, yes. Cause okay. Anyway,
This
because you
issue was
are right.
bad. This
It
issue was
was
bad.
plushy, but yes, wow. Anyway, uh and that's what I get.
I only corrected you because it's Black History Month.
No, I know. And the funny thing is that I was literally talking about Plessy versus Ferguson like 2 days ago. So
Word.
anyway, because my son is doing a Black History Project. So hopefully he doesn't listen to this podcast episode because he's like, Mama, what? Anyway,
I met my
um,
wife in history class,
uh-huh.
and the way I charmed my wife was correcting the history teacher, specifically on those two Supreme Court cases, because she got them mixed up for whatever reason in
Yeah,
U.S. history. And I'm like, we can't,
we can't
you
do that.
pasty white history teacher cannot like be teaching these people the wrong
The
history. Like,
wrong thing.
and you in like the blackest school in the county. Like, we can't have that. So here we are.
Oh, I don't know. Like, it's just really cool to bring them in what I feel is a meaningful way. Like, I feel like the Dakota incident, if DC were to do, pick their next thing to animate, this would be perfect just because I hope that it reads like something that is both digestible for new readers who have absolutely no idea outside of maybe static what the Milestone universe is. And then also for fans that have been around since the 90s, that there are Easter eggs and deep cuts there that they can appreciate.
For sure. For sure. You know, they did this one time before where
I
they
know.
brought DC
Mhm.
or a milestone into the DC universe. And the way they did it was basically like Dharma just kind of did some hand waving and was like, all right, these two universes are one.
Yeah.
And so it's like for the DC fans, that doesn't really do much because, like, who's Dharma? Why does it matter? By the way, this universe just ended, so I don't really need to know who Dharma is. Right. And
Hmm.
then for the milestone fans, it was just like, okay, well, what's going to come out of this? Oh,
Yeah.
couple Teen Titans appearances for Static and then back on the shelf. So what I appreciate about this book is that it really does take the time to highlight, what's special about both the DCU and the Dakota universe, and then find a way to merge them in a way that makes sense. And even the way it was explained to me, like this is kind of a fusion between the OG milestone and like the milestone returns we've been getting for the last 5 years, kind of melded, kind of like pick your head canon.
Yeah.
But for me, I was like, hey, that's dope because we get OG Icon costume. Like in my head, that should always be Icon's costume.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I really like that. Like I said, it feels like you guys took your time with this, so it's not like just some throwaway book, you know.
No, because we started there was like a writer's room essentially for this. I was brought in a little later, not that much later, but I came in they were maybe 2 months or so in. So to be able to, I don't know, be a part of a group of writers who, and just comic creators in general, who I appreciate their work. So like working with Joe, working with Morgan, Nick, Mark Wade, uh, I don't know, that was really cool. Because Mark is like a walk-in DC library.
Mhm.
Like you don't need AI. You just need to ask Mark Way, specifically if it's DC characters, and he will probably be able to give you the full breakdown of pretty much any and everybody. But it was just really cool to figure out something meaningful for these characters that has impact and something that has weight. And also, unfortunately, uh, very much so mirrors the real world. So just in everything that and how things go down. So if these characters are supposed to be representative of, a reflection, right? It was really important to make sure that what brought, they've been there the whole time, and there needs to be a pretty serious reason why they have not been present. So hopefully, that doesn't change the past, but in comics, the best way that you can to kind of reckon with, damn, here I am with that word again, reckon with it. So anyway, it was really cool to be a part of that.
So my favorite moment in your chapter is probably the last page, right? Where
Yeah,
Bronze Tiger kind of grows a conscience and it's just like, I can't be fighting my people. Like, I can't participate in this. Because again, the Suicide Squad is supposed to be taking out the Dakota heroes.
yeah,
And it's like, okay, you really just sent me on a sellout mission. Like, I can't complete this mission. But I just love the way he kind of realizes it. And I guess it just makes sense for it to be him versus anybody else on the team. Was it a
for
hard
sure.
decision on who was going to make that call?
Oh no. I mean, literally. So the thing that kind of brought in Bronze Tiger being there in general was our whole thing was like, okay, well, in the DC universe, it's not just Batman, it's not just Superman, it's not just Wonder Woman. Like, how did Vixen feel about this? How did Bronze Tiger feel about this? How did I mentioned Martian Manhunter because I was like, he was walking around as a black guy in Denver, Colorado, but they were like, no, Stephanie. I was just trying to race a Martian Manhunter. But I was like, how did the black characters um and just other black and brown characters in general feel about what was happening in Dakota? Like I'm not saying that the characters that weren't black or brown would just kind of dismissive eye, but they was not even just sympathize with that, but like you're going to pay attention to that in the
Right.
same way that definitely you think back to like 2020 in the summer of 2020, it's very difficult to be black American and like turn a blind eye to what you already know has been going on, but now it's on a broader, like it's in the news, it's on social media.
Right.
So to
Because
me, like it wouldn't make sense that these characters wouldn't know. So that's kind of what brought up, because originally I was trying to do Bronze Tiger, Vixen. Of course, Deadshot was still going to be there, but because Lex Luthor is president at this time, the Suicide Squad that really is a Bronze Tiger, a Deadshot, Boomerang, and stuff. So that is how that came about. Us literally saying, "Well, how would the other Negroes feel?"
literally, that's great. But so I think because all of these people have superpowers, it's kind of easy to forget that this is quite literally violence at the hands of the state
Yes.
against, these black
Mm-hmm.
and brown people, superpowered and not, because they're
Yeah.
basically attacking the whole city. So, it's a fair point to bring up, like, what does Ja Rule think at a time like this? Like,
I yes.
because he's there. So,
Okay.
yeah. So it's that was I don't know. That's just my favorite part. And Morgan told me it inspired a similar moment in the next chapter between Black Lightning and Static.
Yeah.
Um, which was also great. One of my favorite moments in his story. But before we get there, right, choreographing fights, was that a new skill you had to develop, and how did you do it?
No, it's not. So contrary to popular belief, I can't write a fight scene. I just, what is it? It's just something I just don't always, that's not the first thing that comes to me, I guess.
Mhm.
But it was something that in this, because it felt more than just put a fight here because it's a superhero comic. And a lot of times, I don't know, like I feel like for superhero comics, sometimes the way we expect them, like if it's not a fight there, then what are we doing?
Mm.
And yeah, sure, but I feel like a fight needs to mean something. So this, I think, if anything, like I was really able to channel that because, uh, in this case, just like Wonder Woman 29 and 30, like the dialogue is an extra added layer to just this entire all out war, which is just really, it's unfortunate and it's sad. It's like, Amanda, what are you doing to your people? Girl, Ron Tiger, what are you doing?
That's fair. I don't know why I never thought of them being Amanda Waller's people. She just kind of gives me those vibes, you know.
I
Just
know, but it's wild though, because and I feel like unfortunately that is some mischaracterization of her, because she, in her origin story, like she is from the south side of Chicago, and she loses damn near half her family to like gun violence, which is crazy, but you know, run of the mill. So for her to be unable to, because I guess you would consider what Chicago kind of like Dakota a little bit,
mhm.
or you know, shades of that. So you would think that she would be able to empathize with that at the very least, if she can't sympathize with it. But
Well,
you know, I have my theories on Amanda that I would like to explore one day in a thing.
because it could legit be that, you know, she lost half her family to gun
Yeah.
violence, right?
Yeah.
And so she's got contempt for the hood,
Yes.
you know?
Yeah.
Like
No,
those
you're
Negroes
exactly
over there are the reason I have no family, right?
no,
Like,
you are exactly right. And that is something that I think is worth exploring. If yeah, this is the things we should be doing. Okay. But anyway, yes.
I could see this
And
VIXEN series happening before this Amanda Waller series, but I would love to see it though.
yes, the Amanda Waller thing would definitely have to be like Black Label. But again, so but because of that, using her and then also having Bronze Tiger there, because they're different, I guess, in
Mm.
regards, right? Like it, Amanda not doing this, like backing down because she realizes absolutely not, no. But Bronze Tiger, that is just something that I felt like he would do, especially given like his history. And he ends up like learning how to, like he ends up learning karate because his house was broken into, and like he felt bad that he was unable to do something about it. So like that, so he would at the very end of the day like question himself, like I can't be doing something, but this is the thing that I'm doing. That doesn't seem right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, I love even just we end your chapter with him basically just pulling the earpiece out, like, yeah, I'll deal with Amanda Waller later. Like I'm
Yeah,
not
because Amanda's not gonna kill him.
right, right. So yeah, no, I love it. I loved everything about these 10 pages. And it makes me wonder, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like if we get to continue this milestone universe, is there a book, a character that you would want to write?
That is a great question. I think I would like to. I know a lot of folks would like, of course, you just write Rocket or Icon. No, I actually would love to write the Blood Syndicate. No, I love an ensemble. But I think the Blood Syndicate would be my first pick, of course. And then of course I would say just Rocket, but no, I would write Icon as well.
I could see it. I think I would want the Blood Syndicate first.
Yeah.
Like I think there's something to that. Like Paris Island is basically Southside Chicago,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like taking sort of politics into your own hand,
Mm-hmm.
especially now that they're in the greater DC universe. And so
Mm-hmm.
their methods may be viewed as extreme to someone like a Superman, right? Like, so we can have, you know, the Muhammad X turf war battles if we want to have those. Like, there's a lot that can be done with the Blood Syndicate series, besides the
Yes.
fact that there are, dang, my iPad thought I said the Apple wake up word. But anyway,
Oh, okay.
so, but there's a lot that can be done with that, besides the fact that there's all an unknown number of bang babies out there, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you can have your villain of the week, you can have your deep ideas, you can have like, and it's an excuse to be as violent as you want to be because it's the Blood
Yes.
Syndicate. Like, I don't know, man. Now I'm hyped for this book that doesn't exist. So
Could you imagine a blood syndicate crime noir type of situation?
like, and then do
It's
you?
giving New York undercover.
But then who are the two? Who are the ones that are investigating? Is it does it have to be Wise Son and Tech Nine? Are you sending out different duos for different things? Like, are we doing
I
it like
would
SVU?
I would probably do now. It could go either way. SEU in a way of I don't know, like the investigation of it all. Like if they're doing different, like of course, villain of the week or whatever, but like a mystery a week or something
Mhm.
like that. Not like mystery gang Scooby Doo, but like I don't know, like this is their way of politicking the
Right.
community.
Like who is the Ice T in the Blood Syndicate? Like, who's the one that's just gonna rough up a potential witness? Like, it's
Maybe
nothing.
masquerade.
Mm, I could see that.
Yeah. Okay, let me not give too much. Okay. Well, so if you would like a Blood Syndicate series from me, write DC Comics at DC Comics on all social media and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, and the other thing you can do to affect the outcome of this is to go pick up the new history of the DC universe, the Dakota
Yes.
Incident. It is in stores by the time you're listening to this, and by now we probably have gotten word on whether or not there will be a second printing. So
Yes.
you need to go ahead to the shop, see whatever's on the shelf. If there's not
Mm-hmm.
anything on the shelf, ask your shop to reorder it. They'll place an order at Lunar. It might
They
be
will.
there, it might not, but at the very least, DC will get the message like, hey, there's still demand for this book. We need to print more. So
Yes.
go grab
And
that.
we need more milestone stuff. So hey, you
We
want this blood
absolutely do.
syndicate situation? Let's do it. Of course, I would still love to do Vixen. I'm keeping hope alive.
So I don't know. I don't want you to give away too much of the goods, but I'm very curious as to like what a Vixen series looks like. What's a general premise or maybe a theme that you would want to explore?
Definitely religion.
Mm,
Um, so so the thing that I love the most about Sinners was just because like I grew up in a Pentecostal church, the
mm,
whole whatever. And for a while, like I battled back and forth with I don't know, like my belief and just why are we going to church? And I just learned about slavery and like this is the same Bible that they was holding, that
mm,
type of thing or
mm,
whatever. And just the whole, you know, if you grew up in a very Christian household like I did, like worldly stuff and not being able to listen, like only being able to listen to gospel music, just different stuff like that.
mm,
Vixen, because her father was a man of the church, I just always there's there's elements of that we see in JSA when she's with Justice League of America, and just her inner battles with the Tantum Totem. I just see us. I don't know, like really digging into the spirituality of that and just a conversation of I don't know, what she was raised in thanks to her dad and what she believe which comes from her ancestors to Tantum Totem and all of these things. And just that conversation in the same way that it was, or a similar way that it was told in Sinners. And there's a horror element to that I love,
mm.
just the red in general. Because we get that with Swamp Thing, we get that with Poison Ivy. So to me, it would make sense that we would get some shades of horror with Vixen, and not even just because of the red, but one of her biggest things was her fear of becoming feral and just being forever, this out of control animal. The more and more she used the totem, That's something that she's dealing with. So when she gets to the Suicide Squad, um, when John Ostrander was writing it, she had left superheroing for a little bit. She came out of JSA, went back to modeling, and then what pulls her back in is this ugliness that she sees while she's on a set. Everybody is basically murdered by this Colombian drug lord, and she wants to get revenge. She wants to kill this man, and then she ends up killing him, and she realizes she can't deal with that any more than she could deal with I don't know, like feeling like a monster. So basically, regardless of the fact that she hasn't used this Tantum Totem, she steadily comes to this realization that it's not it's her. So again, deep musings with Stephanie on a Thursday. There's just so much richness to explore with this character, and just her power set is bananas.
I think it's wild that a scantily clad woman named Vixen has these deep fears of losing her inhibitions. That seems charged in weird ways.
Yes, it
but,
does. It does.
So that's interesting. But as someone who was also raised Christian, right? Like I do think there's, I feel like you were afraid to say reckoning, but that does seem like what she.
I didn't want to say it again, but
right,
yeah,
right. But really trying to figure, okay, like, well, if this is in our history, right? If this is in, my line, then what caused my father to deviate, right? And how did he come upon his beliefs, and what do I believe, right? Like those are all questions, right? Like, and very similar. I was raised in church. I wasn't raised in a Pentecostal. Like Pentecostal churches sound crazy to me.
Bruh.
Like the skirts and the
man.
So I was raised in the AME Zion Church, right? The Freedom Church. This is the church of Frederick Douglass and Harriet Tubman. Like this is the first of all, the way the Black church started is crazy. Like white people weren't letting us in church, so we started our own church, right? That's the AME Church. And the AME Zion Church breaks off because it's like we don't really like how y'all worshiping, so we're gonna be another Black church. But again, this is all through slavery, Reconstruction days. I don't know. The history of the Black church is, I don't know, probably a boring comic, but like an interesting.
I don't think so.
Like I don't know how you make it a comic because I don't write comics, but like
there's so many ways. Yeah.
Church history is interesting to me, specifically like Black church history, and then similarly, right, like to whatever struggle Vixen has. Like, okay, how do I decide what I believe, right? But like the Black church in 2026, like in a quote unquote post-racial society, like how do we reckon with like the Black church versus the evangelical church? Also, why does evangelical mean white? But that's a different question for a different day. But the idea that we go through the civil rights movement, the Black Power movement, and the church still has such a foothold, and then you go to like ancient Africa, and there's Christians in Africa before there were slave masters in Africa, and so it's like there's all sorts of like routes that you take to your belief, and it's a very interesting concept. All that to say, I can absolutely relate to only being able to listen to gospel music, being at church 3, 4, 5 times a week, 3 times on Sunday, quite literally.
Yeah.
I can't sing worth a lick, but I was in the choir for some reason. Like that's just what you do. And so there certainly is a point where it's like you were probably going to rebel anyway, just because, teenagers rebel and, young adults have to find their own paths either way. But there's definitely a point that's just like, all right, whatever y'all got going on, I'm going to go find the opposite of that. And the path that you take back home or back to wherever ends up being your home. Is very interesting.
Yes. And I just feel like there's so much to that's already been there for her character. We could just go deeper with that material. So that's kind of how I envision, again, not like a major origin rehaul, not at all, but just maybe updating it in a way that hopefully is relatable to I don't know, just a little bit more relatable.
Word. Well, listen, I don't know who's in charge. I don't know who has to green light that. Scott Snyder follows me on Twitter. So, Mr. Scott Snyder, can we get next level VIXEN? Like that, we need it. We need it.
Yeah.
Stephanie
Yes.
Williams wants to write it. Who would I don't know if we even want to do that.
For
Let's
artists.
yeah, who would you want on art?
Oh, so Travis Mercer, and that's literally because I posted a video kind of talking about this, but
Mm,
I was at Fan Expo Denver. He was tabling there too. We're both with CSA, and Kevin, one of the guys at CSA, had and that's comic sketch art.
mm,
But he had commissioned Travis to do a Joe Mullen piece, and he had came back over because he was working my table, and he came back over, and I saw it, and I was like, "Wait, where did you get that? Like, who did that?" And before he said, I was like, "Oh, Travis, duh." So I got up, and I think I took it with me, and I kind of slammed it down, and I was like, "Are you responsible?" And he's like, "Yeah." And we just got to chatting, and I don't know, like I could envision his vixen through the Joe, and I think of his art as very electric, and for a character like Vixen, because of her power set, like I feel like that's something that's important with the art, and he would just, I don't know, like he would just get it. Because another thing is like, because she doesn't morph into whatever the thing is, it's kind of like this Green Lantern kind of
mm,
shell that you see, but even still, you can see her body. Well, you should be able to see her body tints, for her to look lighter if she is like, turned herself into a swan so that she can, fly or whatever. Like there's just so much interesting and cool things you could do with her visually, and I feel like his art would really encapsulate that. So he's been doing DCKO and the DC wrestling crossover. So Travis is the first to come to mind. Second to that, man, and Stephen Harris.
mm. He
Um,
did Indigo Clan.
I
That's got some
know.
similar vibes.
Yeah. So and Stephen Harris, it would be second. And then I don't know, probably Kari, but if it was Kari, then you know what? I would like to see Kari do a little bit of horror. So yeah. So those would be my three off top. On covers,
Okay.
because I'm doing a wish list now. Of course, Torrin Clark, Josh Swaby, Micah Suzo, so many people. But those would be Julia Neca, of course, because she's been
Mm.
killing the Roots covers, and she also did some Nubia covers that were gorgeous. But yeah,
I need
I want
Evan
this
Galvin
Vixen
covers too.
series.
I need
Yes. Oh, I would. Yes. Oh my God. Yes. And also Brian Stelfreeze as well.
that just
And a
wouldn't be
Sanford
fair.
Green. Just bring all the black folks. Just bring everybody. Come on. So yeah. But I don't know. We'll see.
Listen, DC, we've done the work. We've scouted all the creative team, right?
I will email them personally.
Right. We've scouted everybody. Like just find the page ready, make
Daryl
it happen.
Banks.
That's all we got to
Come
do at this
on.
point.
Yes.
Oh
Yeah.
man, you know what?
Yes.
Daryl might be watching this. I found out Daryl
Daryl,
watches this channel. So Daryl, we need you.
we need you. So if I ever get the Vixen series, please, sir, uh, pay attention to, like, look at your inbox because I'm coming in hot.
Dope. I wonder what an Aletha Martinez vixen looks like.
Oh my God. Aletha through drew Bumblebee, and a beautiful Bumblebee, but again, all the black folks, a full
Yeah.
Richard, like bring everybody to the Vixen book. And it could just be a year-round Black History Month celebration. Black
Hey, man,
History Year. Okay.
we probably should have done this like a year ago because then you could have been like, it's the 100th Black History Month. We need an excuse to do this
Damn.
all year, but it's okay. 101 is
Okay.
not bad.
I'll run it. Okay, I'll run it back.
We'll do it. All right. All right. Well, listen, once again, there's a lot on shelves. If you are a Stephanie Williams fan, your wallet is probably screaming right now.
I'm sorry, but
She's
not
not,
really. I'm not.
but Temporal's wrapping up. Roots of Madness is wrapping up. Street Sharks has wrapped, but there's an annual on the way. Wonder Woman just wrapped up. All right, so the slate's kind of clear. It's clearing. What are you adding to this slate? I know it's coming.
Wow, what can I talk about? So there is more Warriors in a We Wonder coming. We are doing a season 2. Uh, I can't say what, but there is another horror series coming from me. One that I am very excited to be working on because yeah, I almost gave some away, but it was definitely one of those moments where closed mouths don't get fed, and I decided to be very vocal about wanting to work on this,
So is
and
this
it
another
worked in my
creator
favor.
owned, or is this somebody else's sandbox?
Somebody else's sandbox.
Okay.
Leave it
Okay.
at that. Yes. Yeah. And then a graphic novel on the way. I definitely can't. It's sci-fi related. Very excited about that. And I feel like I am forgetting something. Or maybe it's a good thing that I am, but more stuff on the way. That yeah. And some more creator owned too, especially through Ignition. Will might be out this year. So think Harley Quinn novels, okay, meets uh sci-fi. So so if so if Beverly Jenkins wrote Logan's Run,
Mm, okay.
do with that what you will.
Okay. Well,
I
listen.
don't know who that's gonna make sense to, but
I,
I am very happy. This is my first time. I love if anybody knows me and listens to other interviews, like they know how much I love romance novels. So this is my first time like really leaning into that and being able to do it in a high fantasy way. I think this is better than Temporal. Well, no, not well, yes, better than Temporal, but better than Roots, but in a different way. Like if you're really enjoying Roots, I felt like everything that I learned from Roots, I've been able to apply to this.
that's
And that makes me
crazy.
very, yeah, that makes me very happy.
Well, listen, that just means our next conversation is going to be real fun, right? Cousin Steph never
Oh
stays away
man,
too
yeah,
long.
because there's hunching going on in this comic. So I'm for real. I think it's gonna be whatever they it's not gonna be NC-17, but you know, it's an adult book.
Got you. Got
Yes.
you. So we'll have fun talking about inspirations and lessons
Yes.
learned, lessons applied. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I
it
am
was
turning into an auntie. Love that for me because I just said hunching like I am. Okay,
you
sorry.
reckon.
Reckon and hunching. Wow.
Listen, it's okay. I don't know. Going through the change, like that's the next one that's coming. Anyway,
Wow.
listen, it's too late at night. We've
It
done too
is.
many of these conversations. This is,
Yeah.
so this is what you guys get.
Yes.
All the books I just named in stores now. There's more to come. You can follow Steph on Instagram and on Blue Sky at Steph underscore I underscore Will. You know, catch her at the next convention. She may announce it on social media. She might be taking a break. So just got to stay tuned. Stay
No,
up on it.
I lied to myself, but you all will see that announcement coming soon because I got some stuff coming up in March.
Okay. Dope. So yeah, we will see all of that very soon. I'll leave links in the description in the show notes. And we'll see you guys in another video. Until then, stay safe, stay awesome, and read something dope today. Peace.